Good morning, students. In this class, we will see the teaching learning process. Teaching. Flanders defined teaching is an interaction process. The interaction means participation of both teacher and student, and both are benefited by this interaction takes place for achieving a desirable objective. Burton, he defined as a teaching is a stimulation, guidance, direction, and encouragement of learning. Teaching learning process. It is the means through which the teacher, the learner, the curriculum and other variables are organized in a systematic manner in order to attain predetermined objectives. It is a three-way communication. Three-way means the teacher teaches, the student asks the doubts and teacher clarifies it. Elements of teaching process include, of course, first is the learner, teacher, series of learning objectives, sequence of stimulus response situations, reinforcement of that particular behavior, monitoring, assessment and evaluation. The characteristic of learning. Learning is a growth which is natural and inevitable in the life of the children as well as adults. Learning is an adjustment. It helps the individual to adjust himself to the environment. It is a change in behavior. Learning is organized experience. Synthesis of new and old experiences result in a completely new organization of behavioral pattern. Learning is purposeful and goal-directed. Learning is both individual and social. Learning is a self-activity. It is the basic principle of learning. That means we cannot make someone learn unless he is motivated or interested. So then only the learning will be possible. Learning is transferable. Whatever we learn in one context or situation will affect or apply to another area or another situation. The factors influencing or affecting learning are the learner, the type of the learner, the types of experience or training required for the modification of learner's behavior. Learning is nothing but the change in the behavior modification. So, of course, there's a type of experience we need or the training we require to change, to bring the modification in the behavior, the men and material resources needed for the providing desired experience and training. The factors associated with the learner are learner's physical and mental health, the basic potential of the learner, that innate abilities, basic potential in terms of intelligence and basic interest, aptitude and attitude related to the learning of a particular thing, the level of aspiration and achievement motivation, the goals of life, readiness and willpower. The factors associated with the type of learning experience are nature of learning experience, whether it is a well-planned, formal or informal, direct or indirect, whether it is learning experience selected basis of the principles of learning, methodology of learning. Factors associated with the men and material sources, a quality of teacher in terms of mastery over the subject matter, teaching skills, rich experience and teacher-like qualities and behavior, socio-emotional climate available in the institution in the form of the teacher-pupil relationship, pupil-pupil relationship, availability of appropriate learning materials of facilities like teaching learning aids, textbooks, library, availability of proper conducive environment and learning situations like proper seating arrangement, calm and peaceful environment, management and control of the factors leading to distraction, provision of proper change, rest and recreation. The laws of learning, according to Thorndike, the first one is law of readiness. Readiness is the preparation for action. If the child is ready to learn, he learns more quickly, effectively, and with a greater satisfaction than if he is not ready to learn. Second is law of effect. Learning can be said to have taken place properly when it results in satisfaction and learner derives pleasure from it. Law of exercise. Two parts of the law. If use and law of use and law of disuse. When the modification is made between situation and response, that connection strength and increase. When it is not made, the connection strength will decrease. That means law of multiple response or varied reaction. In new situation, individual response in a variety of ways, trying first one response and then another before arriving at the correct one. Law of attitude. Learning is guided by total attitude. Law of analogy. An individual responds to a new situation on the basis of the response made by him in similar situation in the past. Law of associate thinking. From the trial and human response, the learner come to the correct response at the last. Principles of teaching. The first principle is principle of motivation. Of course, the teacher has to bring the motivation in the children. Then only we can make them learn. Then second is principle of activity. Teaching is nothing. Teaching is whatever we teach in the classroom, they should have facility to practice it. That is the teaching of the principle of activity, principle of creativity, principle of selection, principle of division, principle of correlation, principle of connecting with life. The things which we teach in the classroom should have connection with the real life. Principle of revision and practice. Teachers should arouse interest in the students. Well-defined objectives. Qualities of a good teaching. Recognize the individual differences. It is a course to learn. That means good teaching, it is a course to learn. At many times we have been in the schools. When we like the teacher, we study the subject. When we don't like this teacher, we won't study the particular subject. So teaching should made a course to learn. Provide opportunity for activity. Involves in guiding learning. Kindly and sympathetic. Reduce the distance between teacher and learner. Flexible and not particularly tied to any particular method. Incorporate the cooperativeness and suggestions. Democratic. Provide desirable and selective information. Helps the child to adjust to the environment. Progressive. Always consider the level of the student. Leads to emotional stability. Diagnostic and remedial. Stimulating. Carefully planned in advance. On basis of previous knowledge. Develop, initiate and independent thinking and doing. Another term is maxims of teaching. Maxims of teaching is nothing but it is accepted general rule of conduct or laws which are essentially to follow by the teacher while teaching. That means that while teaching, whatever accepted general rule the teacher follows, that is comes under the maxims of teaching. There is nearly 18 to 20 maxims of teaching. They are proceed from known to unknown, connect them concrete to abstract, simple to complex, easy to more difficult, proceed inductive, that means with examples, general to specific, specific to general, empirical to rational, that means empirical lacks scientific background. That means the general ideas without any scientific basis. We said that topic is empirical. Then we go with the scientific basis. All to part, part to all, analysis to synthesis, indefinite to definite, overview to detail, observation to reasoning, psychological to logical. Characteristic of effective teaching include first is giving structured information, quantity and pacing the information, teacher expectation of the students, teacher's enthusiasm, teacher clarity, teacher feedback, emotional climate in the classroom, teacher's observational skill, handling the assignment, management skill, ability to develop appropriate progressions, content specific. Qualities of a good teacher. Desirable personal trait like likable, approachable, caring, active, neat appearance, dress modestly, simple, having a sense of humor. Use of effective teaching method. Effective teaching method means one teacher uses a particular method that may not be appropriate for another teacher. So each teacher should use the effective teaching method according to her personality and her knowledge. Creator of a good classroom environment. Encourage students paying special attention to weak students, controlling the students, mastery of the competence, that means able to inspire students, providing guidance and counseling, ability to judge students fairly, possess leadership skills, evaluate students' performance, able to perform self-analysis and able to accept criticism positively. She should be a professional decision maker. By utilizing the competencies, teacher has to decide whom to teach, why to teach, where to teach, what to teach, how to teach, and when to teach. Qualities of a good nurse educator. They should have interpersonal relationship with the students. That means empathetic listening, acceptance and honest communication, professional competence, personal qualities like enthusiasm, willingness to admit errors, cheerfulness, consideration, honesty, calmness and poise sense of humor, lack of annoying mannerism, patience and neat appearance. Student-friendly behavior in the clinical area include being willingness to help, answering questions freely, allowing students to recognize and correct errors, giving verbal encouragement, showing interest in patient care. Role of teacher. Role of teacher as an instructional role. Planning and organizing, that is objectives and the content, creating and maintain desirable group climate, adapting the teaching and preparing instructional material to various interest, motivating and challenging the students and teaching. As a faculty role, she will be a chairman, secretary, or member of a particular committee in the college, counselor of the student in matters, researchers, and resource person to group outside the institution, representative of professional nursing organization, a public relation agent. Individual role as a member of the family, church, community, and a citizen. Then dignified and distinct personality. Role of teacher. A teaching is a complex but challenging task. Responsibility of motivating and molding the students according to the requirements of the society and nation. It is compared as a the teacher is compared as a gardener and the students are as the seeds. Goal directed, good planning and efforts are required to achieve these goals. Thank you. Thank you for listening.